Coming up on the news at noon, facing questions, what a video shows D.C. police doing to a man under arrest. And breaking news saying sorry, Will Smith breaks his silence after slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. Here's emotional apology. And good afternoon to you at home. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Corey James in for Mark Hall. We begin first with the DMV First Warn Day. Make sure to grab your umbrella if you're heading out running errands this afternoon because rain is inching closer. Weather forecaster Brittany Ward joins us this afternoon. And Brittany, when will we be dodging the raindrops?
Hey, Corey. Yeah, we're going to be seeing rain on and off again today. So you definitely want to make sure you have the umbrella on hand. Now, here in the district, we haven't really seen much rain, but if you head over to the mountains, you can see Hagerstown and portions of Martinsburg. They were seeing rain earlier this morning. We started to see that system move out, but again, we are tracking more showers as we head throughout the day. If we zoom out on satellite and radar showing you what's currently happened across the area, we're mainly seeing the rain down towards our south, but we're keeping our eye out on a cold front. Once that cold front begins to approach our area, that's when we're going to see more of the rain and even thunderstorms heading into our afternoon that could turn severe. So that's something we're keeping our eye out for as we head into our Friday. Now, when we talk about the current conditions right now in DC, it's pretty warm out there. We're already hitting into the mid 80s outside. Mostly cloudy skies is what we're going to be seeing. But again, heading into the later half of our afternoon, that's when we're going to start to see those showers work its way into our area. So definitely keep it here. We'll have more of the timing of when we could expect the showers, when they're going to move out, and how your weekend is going to be shaping up coming up in just a bit.
Dude, spit it out. You can't. You gotta spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out, bro. Spit it out.
You're looking at some new video that shows a D.C. police officer with his knee and elbow on a man's neck after a chase. This all happened about a month ago, but right now it's being investigated as a serious use of force incident. D.C. police officers are banned from using knee restraints. That evening, D.C. police say officers saw a drug deal as it was happening along O Street and Northwest near North Capitol Street. Officers say they took off after those involved, bringing one of them to the ground. You can hear police telling that man to spit out the drugs. The incident is now under review at the U.S. Attorney's Office for D.C. After they complete their review, D.C. police will conduct a separate investigation. And happening now, D.C.'s mayor is calling on the National Guard and federal government. Mayor Bowser says the city is dealing with a humanitarian crisis with thousands of migrants being bussed into the district. Bowser tells us states like Texas and Arkansas are sending them to the nation's capital.
We see it with people who are coming to the United States from Ukraine. So there is a robust federal response that helps people with transportation on to their final destinations and in even getting them a legal route to work.
Mayor Bowser is calling this a politically motivated move. She expects the number of migrants arriving will grow. And D.C. police investigators are saying it could take weeks to figure out what motivated a string of deadly shootings in Southeast this week. So far, authorities have identified 19-year-old Ronald Brown, 41-year-old Tawan Wilson, and 26-year-old Rashid Curtin as three of the victims. 3 more people were hurt, including a pregnant woman. Police tell us more than 90 rounds were fired at each scene.
The vehicles that were used were stolen vehicles, which we often see used in these type crimes, and they were used and then disposed of fairly quickly. They made attempts to destroy physical evidence that might have been there. Where we recovered the vehicles also would lend us to believe that it's probably a ongoing beef between groups of people.
Investigators say the shooters abandoned their getaway cars. The department is offering a $25,000 reward for any information leading to arrest. And President Joe Biden rejecting claims the U.S. is in a recession, despite a new federal report showing the economy is shrinking for the second time in a row last quarter. Our D.C.'s Raquel Martin has the story.
Republicans say Americans should brace themselves after Thursday a new federal report showed the economy shrank for the second quarter in a row.
Democrats have plunged America into a recession.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell blames President Biden's policies for soaring inflation he says is at the root of the problem.
Democrats inherited an economy that was primed for an historic comeback and promptly ran it straight into the ground.
While typically economists define a recession as 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline, the White House isn't sold.
We're not in a recession.
Thursday, President Joe Biden said considering record low unemployment and strong consumer spending, he believes the country is on the right track. He also says Congress is on its way to relieve Americans of inflation. Thursday, the House passed the CHIPS Act, a bipartisan manufacturing bill supporters say will bring consumer costs down. And now Democrats, led by West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, are reviving key parts of the president's economic agenda, designed to lower prescription drug prices and shrink the federal deficit.
Not a Democrat bill. This is not a Republican bill. This is an American bill.
But no Republicans are on board. West Virginia Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito says Democrats' inflation-fighting bill
will fuel this fire of inflation even more.
And Democrats will not need Republican backing to get the bill passed through Congress. Senator Chuck Schumer says he wants a vote next week.
I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself. All right? I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of
Strong words coming from actor Will Smith. He's deeply remorseful, taking to social media to address the smack that was heard across the world, the Academy Awards. Now, in his apology, Smith apologized to Chris Rock and his family. He also said he has suffered trauma for disappointing his fans. And breaking news, the woman charged with shooting her husband inside the Mandarin Oriental Hotel is staying behind bars. The first court appearance for Shantiri Weems just wrapped up in the past 15 minutes. A reporter in the courtroom says the judge decided there are no conditions in which she can release Weems because of what she is charged with. Members of Weems' family became very emotional when they learned her fate. According to court documents, Weems says she shot her husband, James Weems Jr., during an argument over child abuse allegations. She says parents whose children go to the daycare that she owns told her her husband was molesting their kids. When she confronted Weems Jr., she says it escalated into the shooting. Her husband is now being charged with 13 sex crimes against at least 3 children in Baltimore County. Her next court date will be held August 9th.
If she is not released tomorrow, there's a likelihood that she will sit inside of that prison cell or that jail cell until her case is adjudicated, until the outcome of her case, which can be upwards to 2 years.
Here is Wildest Dreams. A local action group is helping Weems in her defense. The team is showing their support through social media channels. DC Health is opening another monkeypox vaccine clinic, this time in Ward 8. The clinic opens Monday, but DC Health officials say people can book appointments now. So far, about 7,000 doses of the vaccine have been given out. And right now, there are more than 200 cases of monkeypox in the district. And Russia is considering a prisoner swap. That's according to ESPN News. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced on Wednesday that the U.S. offered a deal to bring Griner and another detained American, Paul Whelan, home. Now Russia's foreign minister is saying he is willing to discuss the offer. And record flooding and a massive search, the National Guard racing to Kentucky communities to provide assistance after heavy rain left 15 people dead. Robert Sherman has a look at the devastation and intense response to save lives.
Here in eastern Kentucky, you can see exactly what all of this flooding looks like. If you take a look at what's right behind me, this is one of the local high schools here in Jackson, Kentucky, and you see the whole campus has been flooded over, and you just see the way that it contains throughout this entire valley at the base of these mountains. We just heard from local officials who say that the rivers here have crested in this area, hitting an all-time high. So they're hoping that some of the river levels will be going down in the coming days. But there is still a lot of water here, and there is still a lot of rain predicted to come over the coming days, which does have them somewhat concerned. You talk to local residents here and they tell us that the rainfall, it just came so quickly. It seemed as though that it was just going to be a normal storm, and then all of a sudden it was something much more. All of a sudden it was raining as if it were sheets, and it flooded these entire spaces. And they tell us that while this is such a strong community and they believe that this whole area will be coming back, it is hard for them that they have seen flooding in the past from the last year, year and a half that they say they had just recovered from. And now all of a sudden they have all of this devastation behind us that they must deal with for the foreseeable future. In Jackson, Kentucky, Robert Sherman.
And President Biden has approved Kentucky's disaster declaration. He has ordered federal aid to help the southern state in recovery efforts. All right, let's turn things over to Brittany Ward in the Weather Center this afternoon. I guess we're getting some rain, but better weekend in store.
Yeah, and we will not be seeing the flooding that they saw in Kentucky, but it's all the same system that we're going to be seeing. If you take a look at our temperatures right now, they are still pretty warm out there. DC coming in at 85, 72 in Hagerstown, 73 over there in Cumberland. So it is pretty warm out there, but once that cold front begins to inch closer to the district, we'll start to see our temperatures dip down a little bit as we head into those evening hours. So let's talk about the threats. What can we expect as this storm system begins to move through? It seems like it's really going to be a windy event, so we're really keeping our eye out on the winds. They could be gusty at times. Flooding is low, but it is not zero. We could see localized ponding on the roads, especially when we're coming home from work. So keep an eye on that. And hail and the tornado threat is also low as well. So looking at our headlines, what can we expect for today? It's mainly going to be on and off again, rain throughout our day with the chances of a few thunderstorms popping up that could be severe. More storms will arrive as we continue to head into our afternoon hours. We do have an amazing weekend on tap, so definitely get ready for the weekend. And then take a look at the last one. We are turning up that heat as we head into August. So definitely keep it here.